Tamara here. Nice of you to join me. It feels like ages since I've done a YouTube video, so I'm really excited to get back into uploading and making some more videos for you. But before we start any new stuff, I need to finish what I've already started. So I thought in today's video we'll work on a couple of pages in our Clarity memory book. And if you want to see how I made up the actual frame of the book, click on the link that will appear just there, and that will take you to parts 1, 2 and 3 of how we actually made the framework of our book. So in this video we're going to look at doing a page, and this is the page we're going to do. Now for the purpose of the video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 2 pages that are the same. So I've already made this one up off camera, and then I'll do this near enough the same with you all online. So to start with, I made like a little booklet within our book that I thought was quite nice. So it's a little bit of a flap, so you kind of open it up and then you've got the inside, and then you can flip it over and then you've got the page sort of on our base page and then on the back of the booklet. So what I've used for this is I've used the Creative Expressions journaling sentiments. I love these. I had these on Create and Craft a few weeks or so ago, and I really like them just to add some positive words into our memory books. They just give a lovely touch, so you can use them for weddings or for birthdays, whatever you make your memory book about. There will be a sentiment in one of the stamp sets that will fit. And I've just used a circle punch to punch the cream layer out, and then the background I've just used a heartfelt border die to create a bit of focal point on the top of my tag, but I'm not going to use that one in the video online. I'm going to use a different one. And then these are the Tattle Florals, the mini ones from Sizzix by Tim Holtz, and then this is a sort of leaf die that's from Creative Expressions. I will put either at the front of this video or at the end a supply list of all the products that I've used, so easy access. So opening the book up, our little booklet, I've used a Polka Doodles stamp, and then I've used Versamark ink and then black embossing powder over the top. Then I've used the Nuvo aqua pens and just squirted them onto a craft sheet to create a bit of a water effect background. And then in the actual flowers, I've used the gold sparkle pen, also from Nuvo, the Aqua Nuvo pens. And then this corner, it's a corner punch, and that is from Clarity. It just allows you then to just hook your photographs into the little slots there, so that you can take them out and put them in as you want. And then as we go on to the back, I've just added some plain white card, and this one is a Tim Holtz die again, that I've just used again the Nuvo ink pens, the aqua pens, and just squirted them again onto my craft sheet. Just dipped my paper in and then die cut it out, and you get like a nice watercolor effect. Okay, and then on the other side of that page, I've used a Studio Light die. It's one of their book dies that they have, and I just thought it would be a a nice addition to using sort of like the fishtail, sort of a banner type flip flap. And then we open up. Now I haven't done anything in here, but we're going to do something a little bit different inside the album, but we'll do that on camera. Okay, so the paper that I'm using is Clarity. It is the Northern Lights paper pad, 12 by 12. So we're going to be using that as well. The craft card that I'm using for this video and for most of my videos is Anna Marie Designs craft card. Personally, I love it. It always seems to fold nice. I don't get any creases, any cracking. It's just a beautiful paper, cardstock to use. So that, for me personally, is the best that I've used. So until I find another one, which I'm sure there are loads of ones out there, but it's just the ones that I've tried. So let's get cracking. Right, I did forget to mention one thing. The base pages that how I've got to my base pages is I've used the Clarity deluxe square cutting dies. So we're going to be using the 5.5 inch one, which is the second from largest. Okay, so we're going to be using that one to create the base pages. So I'm going to cut that out. Now I'm using my hand cranked die cutting machine today because I had a workshop here at home over the weekend, last weekend, and I have left it downstairs. So me being a little bit lazy, I left it down there. So we've got my hand cranked one. Okay, so that then is our 2 base pages cut out. Okay, so like so. Now we just need to cut the layer, but I'm not going to use the dies to do that because I only want an 1/8 of an inch gap. So we're going to just use my paper trimmer to do that. So we need to cut our black card at 5 3/8, and that'd be 5 3/8 squared. So that'd be 1, and we need to do the other side as well because we've got 2. 5 3/8 by 5 3/8. There we go. And now we need our pattern paper. So what are we going to use? There's so many nice ones in here. I think I may go with, there's a really nice, that one. I think I'll do that one. So that can be one side, and I think we'll do this one as well. Let's cut so these are for the base pages, so you need to cut 2 of these at 5 1/4. So 1, 2, so that's 1, and 1 more. So that then is our base page sorted. So if I show you what we've cut so far. Right. So these are base pages. Then there's our mat that goes over the top. Okay. And then the paper mat goes over the top of that. Okay. That gives us a nice 1/8 border all the way around, which is really nice. So that's one page, and then page 2 is the same, and that then is ready for when we come to put clips and flaps on the back. So we put that to one side to use this one at a later stage. Right, so for our booklet we need to cut our card to 5 inches. Okay, and then turn it round, and we need to do by 10. Okay, so 5 by 10. So this was the 5 by 10 that we cut out. Now you will need a score in matte. If you haven't got a scoreboard, not score mat, scoreboard, you can measure it and then draw a line down and then just use a bone folder just to get your crease. You can do it that way if you haven't got a scoreboard. But I have this scoreboard. I have actually got 2. I've got this EK Tools one, and I've also got a Score Pal, and they're both brilliant. I will say they're both very good. I've bought this one, and I've also got another one coming for a workshop that I'm doing, so I needed a few of them for the workshop, so I've sort of bought a couple more. Anyway, so that's then our booklet done. Now we need to also create a hinge so that we can open our book up that way, so that we can then, we've got some more space on the back here. Otherwise we're going to lose this by sticking that down. So we will need some of our offcuts that you've got. So one piece of offcut, and this needs to measure 5 inches by 5 inches by 1 inch. Okay, so 5 by 1. Here we go. Put that down, and again you need your scoreboard, and then we score this in the middle at a half an inch. Okay, and then just fold it over, and then just reinforce that score line so that it's nice and scored. Don't worry if it doesn't meet, so they're not sort of equal distance. I don't know if you can, you probably won't be able to see that on screen.
It doesn't really matter because you're not going to see it.
Just going to double side the hinge. Now you put your double-sided tape along the outside of the hinge, so so you have like the mounting fold at the top, like so. Hope you can see that. So probably see it better that way. So that there is then the mounting fold. Okay, so you need to put your tape on that side. Just cut this down. Okay, right, and then we can start to assemble. So I need a pokey tool, and we're just going to take off just one side of your double-sided tape. Okay, just the one, so like that, and then we're going to put it, so I think, so turn it over. So we're going to put our hinge up to as near to the fold as you can get it. Okay, now I think I may have just cut this a tiny bit longer, but that's no problem because we can just trim that bit off. Okay, like so, and then that's going to stick onto our page and then give us that nice flip and fold. Now you could, if you wanted to, which we could do if you wanted, we could give this a decorative edge, That might look quite nice, but to do that we'll need to cut out our pattern paper first. So if we start, let's do that, and then that would be a nice feature, I think, to do. So if this was 5 inches, we need then to cut our pattern paper, because I only want 1/8 of an inch border, so this needs to be cut at 4 7/8. So 1 and 4 7/8, 1 and 2. We do the inside one as well, and okay, so that's that side, because we'll do one side and then do the other. Okay, so we're going to be working on the front.
We need to position our patterned paper
so that you've got a nice border around, and then we're going to actually move this up to right to the top so it's level with the edge of your booklet. And then what we're going to do is we're going to just tape that in place. There we are, removable tape. Okay, so make sure you've got equal distance at the edges as well. Okay, just move that round like so, and then we just bend that round, and again just take our
removable tape
and okay, just bend that round so that it's level with the top. So these are very old border dies that I've had for yonks. They're from Spellbinders and they are brilliant, I have to say. So we're going to go with let's go with the lines one, and we need to position it so that it is kind of level either side, and we're going to do it from, sorry, on the front of our book, not on the back bit. So where your book opens, so the front cover of your booklet is where you will cut first. So I think that is possibly levelish. Some tape just to make sure. Go. One and then the other, like so. Just take them off. Now, that removable tape that I have does leave a bit of a sticky residue behind, but if you've got one of these glue rubbers, that it comes off really easily. So if you're using removable tape and you find that you're getting a lot of the glue residue left, I would definitely say invest in one of these. Then that then should give us a really nice border all the way round.
Cutting the patterned paper for the reverse side of the border page, just use the black template that came off the black cardstock.
Okay, so let me just cut another one of the pattern paper ones. And then we need to add a card on. Like so. And add, actually no, we don't need to use that. We'll use this. This is the offcut to the black. So we'll just use that. And hopefully it will work. And then we should get hopefully nice lines. And then this can be the outside of our, so give a bit more of a feature. Okay, so that's there. So we need another, so that's that front part. So now we need to do this part here.
Cut your pattern paper at 4 7/8 by 4 7/8, and you need to cut 2 of them.
That then can be the other side. Put it there. And then that one, we could use, that would be quite nice. Or maybe that side. Yeah, that looks quite nice, doesn't it? So we need to then cut this piece again at 5 3/8 by 5 3/8, and then that then will be the inside, like so. Yeah, so that's how you do you cut a decorative border. Okay, then we can stick these into place. Okay. So I'm just using Cosmic Shimmer glue. Hopefully it is open. Yay! Quite a bit of glue on there. And then just wiggle it into place. So that then is the front of our booklet, and the back is this one. So we're just going to push that onto like this one. And that goes on there. There we go. And that's a nice border as well. And then we're going to put our last sheet on, sort of there. And then we can see that lovely, I think that looks really nice and effective actually. But I've just noticed what I've done, and I shouldn't have done. I've actually glued my pieces on, and I forgot to put our magnets on. So if I just take them off quickly, there we go. Phew, I will be able to just add my magnets on there before I then glue them back on. Oh, that was lucky. Right, we need to do one on the back as well of pattern paper, and then stick our, so while that just dries a bit, we can then stick the rest of our bits together. Now I am going to stick, so I'm going to start with our mat, the black mat, and I'm going to just stick that onto our base card. Okay. Now when we put our booklet on, we want to get it as near to this edge here as we can, okay? So it needs to be as near to that as we can get it. So we need to take off then our double-sided backing and try and get your equal borders at the top and the bottom as well. All these things you have to think about. Okay, I think that's about right, and then just burnish it in. Now the reason I say is to stick it as near to that edge as possible. It's so that we can get then our paper, pattern paper in, and it still would leave that nice border. But then sticking that onto the card will hide that hinge then under there, so you won't see that as, it won't be as noticeable. Okay, so glue that one into place now. Like so. Push it up. There we are. So that's very nearly, we just got to add then our magnets. So I'm going to put a magnet underneath here. I've done it again. Right, take that off. We're going to put our magnet onto our base card. Okay. So stick that on so that is quite near that. And then, whoops, that then should be maybe a bit further up a bit. Yeah, just about there I think. Should be about right. Yeah. So then we need to glue now then our back cover down, or back cover, back pattern paper. And we'll go that way. Okay. Then we need to put then our next one down, but we need some double-sided tape for that. Just a tiny bit, and no, sorry, it needs to go the other way. It needs to go that way, just like so. And then we can then put on our back panel, oh sorry, the inside of our booklet. Okay, and it goes that way. Then just wiggle it into place and then burnish down, and then we're going to put one on this side here, then that will keep them nice and secure. A bit more double-sided tape. So we're just going to push it on there. So what I've done is I've stuck it to the double-sided tape, but the double-sided tape is sticking upwards. Okay, so it's sticking up, and then I'm just going to shut this the top part down and press down, and then hopefully you'll get the magnet then in the correct position. I'll take that bit off, add then the glue, and that in like so, and then that then is then our booklet, and it's closed, sort of it keeps it closed from the top, but then it's also closed from the bottom, so you have to lift that bit up there. I'm just going to add the other part of the back part of the booklet, like so. Now you could, if you wanted to, you could distress the edges with some distress ink. That would look really nice, but I haven't done it on these, so just for quickness. So that then is one of the pages sort of completed in the way of our die cuts and bits like that. So now we're going to go on to the back page of this page, so side B, if you so wish, and that was using the Studio Light like memory dies. I don't know what else to call them. Journaling dies. It doesn't really say what they're called. So for that we will need this die set. You get three dies in that set. So this then is your layer. Then you get your mats that go in between. Okay, so if you wanted to do some mat and layering, you could. Now we're not going to use the smallest version. We're going to use the big one, and then the next size down as our mat. So we're going to cut this out of black card. Two of the ones with the holes in, so we'll do that first, and then we'll cut the mats out in a minute. Okay, so that's then our sort of the base part of the flaps done. Now I'm going to use my scoreboard for this. I'm going to use it from this one. So because this is going to be far too long for our book, we need to cut them down a bit. So you need to work out how far you want your flaps to go. So if you wanted your flap up here, so if you wanted one shorter and one longer, you could do that. If you wanted them virtually the same, you could also do that as well. Or if you wanted them to be both quite long, then you could. I'm going to have them both quite long, I think. So I'm just going to place it where I want it on the board, and then I'm just going to mark it where that's going to be, so there. So then I'm just going to do a score line all the way up. Oop. There we go. And then fold it over. Now I am going to cut this bit off because we don't need it, and then that will then save your album being very bulky, to have an unnecessary bulk in your album. So we then put that over there like that. Then we can get the next one. Now you can either mark it the same, so you could just line them both up on your board and then just kind of mark the score, so there, and then just score up. Okay, and then fold over and then cut that bit off. And I've cut the edges off, sorry, the corners off as well, again just so that we haven't got unnecessary bulkiness in our album. Okay, so these then are going to go over our base page like that. So when we put our double-sided tape, we need to put it on the valley fold side of our die cut. And when I say the valley side, I hope you can see there, that then inside there, that's the valley mountain. So we need to put our double-sided tape onto the side with the valley type fold, score, should I say. And again on the other side. You probably want to cut roughly, leave about half an inch for your glue tab. Okay, so I'm just going to burnish that down so that it's all nice and secure and stuck down. So I've got no air bubbles in that double-sided tape. There we go. And just take the backing off. Okay. Now we need to now think about where you want to place that. Now I'm going to have mine virtually in the middle, and just then secure it to the back. Okay, that's one side. The other. Sorry if you can hear the wind in the background there. I've opened my studio window because it's so warm here today. I was getting no air in here. Now, okay, push that over. So making sure that's nice and level. Now how I've gauged those is I've just sort of lined it up with the flap underneath. Okay, so then that is our sort of flap. Now we're going to add, don't forget to add the magnets. We're going to use a couple. I'm going to place one underneath. So yeah, one underneath, think about there, or one on the top, probably one there, that would probably be better. So on your bottom flap, if you add your glue, and then on the, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put some double-sided tape over that so that that doesn't spring up when I put the other magnet on. Okay, and then the other magnet is going to go on the top of the other flap, like so, but I need to turn it round. So there we are. So make sure that's nice and secured down. So then that is our flap. Now I think I need to just move off a little bit. There we go. It wasn't sitting right. It's just out just a touch. Right, let me just take that off. Oh. Now I'm not going to see that because that's going to be covered. So if I push that over. That there should be about right. Okay. There we go. So now we need to do the layers. Now we did the layer already for the bottom, so we can, right. But what we're going to do, because we're going to do something a bit different. So what we need to do is we're going to stick the pattern paper and the black layer together. Okay. Right, so these dies are from La La Land Crafts, okay, and all it is going to cut a little tiny slit into our base card. So I want to try and get it so that you can't see it, so it's covered by the flap. So I'll turn it over. Now what this is going to do is going to cut like a little tiny slit into the bottom of this card, and then that will allow us to put a tag or something in there, but it'll just give a nice little feature. Now you can do the big one and then a small one if you so wish, but I think we'll do two big ones. So I'm going to cut that one first, hoping that that's straight, and put it through a few times because it's got to go through pattern paper and card. Hopefully that's worked. Right, I just need to put in a little bit of a shim just so that that will cut through. That's now cut. It has. So just very carefully take your removable tape off. Okay. And hopefully it's worked. And I can just push that out. So just push, push, push. Okay, now I will straighten that up a bit because it is a bit of a mess. Okay, luckily you won't see that because it is the back and it'll be covered, but I just wanted to get rid of those little furry bits that are on the end so that you can't see them. Yeah, I think that's about done it. So maybe just a few more little tiny strands there. Another way to do this would be to get a small nail file, and you could have just filed them bits off. Okay, so then that then is our slit. So once that is then on our page and the flaps closed, it's just another secret little pocket inside there. Now I will put some pattern paper underneath so that you can't see the grey. And see, that looks quite nice, so I might put some a different colour card underneath it so that it gives a contrast. But first we need to do the next slit. So I'm going to come down a little bit further for that, to about there. Hopefully I've got it straight, or as straight as it's ever going to be. And then that hopefully has cut through nicely. Yes, that one's cut perfectly. Just needed that extra shim. Okay, just pull that off. And then pull that down. And there we've got a nice, that is a nice cut there. But as I say, you won't see that because it is sort of hidden. I might just cut just that bit off. There we go. So then that then is our two little slits, our little secret pockets as such. I don't know whether to put in some patterned paper or just a piece of card. But before I do anything, I'm just going to have a tidy up and then we'll talk about what we're going to do next. Okay, welcome back. As you can see, I've had a little bit of a tidy up. So what I decided to do, I've actually cut another piece of the pattern paper out in a complementary colour so that it's not sort of sticking out. And I've cut it a bit smaller than my actual base card because I don't really want to see it, so I just want it as the decorative feature through my slits. So we can glue this one down so that gets all glued all over, and stick that down. And then the bottom one, we're just going to glue, I think it was that way, yeah, around the edges. Okay, don't go in the middle. So just round your edges. And then we can stick this on like so. Okay. And then we won't, then that gives us a nice surprise when we open the flap up, because you've got those hidden there. So for then the pattern paper for the flaps, you just need the layer die, as I said, from the Studio Light dies. So that's the second biggest die in that set. And how do they manage to get tangled up? So just pick some pattern paper that's going to coordinate, and we use this one then for the, so it should get 3 along there. Oh wait. So that's 1, 2, 2. I don't think that's going to be enough. No. further ado, we'll fold that over and we will cut it like so. Okay. So what I've done is I've just folded the bottom of the paper that I had left in half, and I'm just going to then place, hopefully we'll then get a nice straight edge at the top. Then what we need to do now is just get it into place, and then you just need to mark where you want to trim it down. So I would say there's probably about 1/4 of an inch gap all the way round, so you probably just want to by eye that last measurement. And that is that. So that's one, and I'm just going to measure it from the one that I've just done, and that then makes easy work. Go on there. Right, just need to take that just about 1/8 of an inch off that one. Probably just a tiny bit more. There we go. So that is a nice gap there, and then that one goes at the bottom. So we can go ahead and stick these on. So I'm just going to take that double-sided tape off and add our glue to the back. Now I'm going to add just a tiny bit onto the magnet, and then just maneuver it into place. So that is that, and then this one gets put onto the other side. We have got loads of magpies in our garden. Oh, they do make a racket. But my mum, she puts out biscuits for all the cats and the hedgehogs and things, cat biscuits, and if she's not careful, the magpies come and steal them. So she's probably feeding the magpie population as well. So then we can put this one on the inside, like so. Again, just by eye it. And I'm going to put both of these together, and so that's one. And you could put some white or cream cardstock onto here in the middle, so you've got something like a journal spot to write some memories on. So put this one on. So then that's very nearly our next page done, but we need to add our tags. Now I'm hoping that Lisa's tags will fit, and I think they will. So they do, they fit perfectly, so we could fit a couple of them in. So I'm just going to cut these down. I'm just going to use some cream. So I'm going to cut 2 out of each one. Right, so we just put them ones back because I don't need them. I think what we'll do is we'll use this and put our pattern paper over there, just to give it a bit of, you know, a bit more originality. So we need to cut 2 of each of these because they're going to go on either side. So I'm going to just use this. So let's cut that. 1, 2, so that's 1. And because we've got 4 tags, 1, 2, so that's 2, and then 2 of those ones we're going to use. Oh, let's go in some nice pink. So pink, will that fit that way? Yep. 1, 2, 1, 2. So we'll cut 2 out at a time. So that's that. Okay, so let's now assemble these. So we're going to put, see, that looks really, really nice and lovely. Okay, so glue. So put the glue on. I'm not going to put the holes in that you can put things through. I think because I don't want it, might spoil it for one. Okay. I quite like that. So that looks really, really nice. But I may just put, I might put the holes in. We'll see. See what it looks like. So that one on there. The green one. And then the last 2, which are going to go on the bottom. And never mind. Go on that side. Yellow. Pink. That's it, just manoeuvre it round. That's another one. And then one more. And then that then is going to be our secret little label holder. And then this one. Like so. And then that then shuts up. Push that down just a touch. And then hopefully that will stay shut. I may just have to add another might just need to add another magnet, maybe underneath on the bottom, just to keep it closed. Just to add, that's better, yeah. Just need to add that extra magnet underneath. So what I'll probably do is put something across there to hide that. Right, I didn't actually, so what I'm going to do, I've added my magnet, and then I'm just going to put a blank piece of cream card over the top, and then that will just hide that magnet. Right, so let's stick this down. So that's just going to cover over there. And then what we could add is a sentiment over there as well. That would be nice. That's what I should have maybe done. But that will do for the minute. I can put the sentiment on later. I think that's how I had it. Or did I have it that way? No, it was that way, wasn't it? So tidy up again. So that then is that side very nearly done with our lovely hidden tag feature. So we just need to now make something of the front here. Now we can use some of our stamps. Let's look which one we've got. I think we're going to put, don't look back, you're not going that way. I think that would be a nice one, because it is long, will really work well on the long type of tag. So we kind of put it either there, or we can put it in the middle, wherever you like. So let's stamp that onto some cream cards. Now I'm going to use black Versamark ink, and then emboss it in black, if I can find embossing powder. And let's just use that as our embossing catcher, like so. And get the, if I can find what I've done with it, Versamark ink. Okay. Then push down. And then quickly emboss. my little brush? On the big brush. It's not there. I have got a brush that I just use for embossing powders. I've had it for years. Just to get rid of some of that excess embossing powder that's on the actual card. I don't actually want it on there. That's it. So then just heat that up. And I'm just going to cut this out using the trimmer. And then that's going to go on there. And we're just going to add a black layer. That's just going to matte and layer it on there. And I've just used my scissors to cut that out. Sort of by eye, that one. Yeah. And I do need to clean my scissors. Okay. And this side. Let's cut that down a bit smaller. That one's okay. So then that's our little feature there. And we could then put a border die, which I could use one of these from Tim Holtz. Just chuck that bit off because it's sort of stuck on there. That doesn't want to come off. There we go. Here we go. Here we go. There we are. 1, 2. And then that maybe we could put behind it like that, just to add a bit of a feature. So I would just use enough bit of card. I think I'll just use normal ink pads. So I'm going to go with some Victorian velvet, some cracked pistachio, and some broken china. That should be my 3, and maybe a seedless preserve. Okay, so I'm just going to add some to my sheet. And most of you will know how to do this with your distress inks. But I quite like this effect. It's one of my favourites. So as you've got your ink down, just spray with water to activate it, and you can see it pools, gets these lovely little pools. Now you can just pounce and you'll get a lovely effect if you wanted, or you could run it through, and that's created a lovely purple colour. So I'm just going to pounce that bit on and then dry it off. Right, I do want a little bit more of the blue, but I don't think I'm going to get the blue, so we'll just make do with a couple of the spots. This is just a journal that I have that I'm using just for backgrounds, and just as a mop up, so that I can just mop up some of the extra colours, so I'm not wasting it, and that then is going to make a lovely background on there. So I'm just sort of as I've gone along, I've kind of just put some in, and they just make fabulous backgrounds. So that, I'm not going to get much more off that. So what I'm going to do is just use my cloth and just dry that off. Trying not to use baby wipes when I can not. Okay, it doesn't matter too much about, because you're not actually going to see the background because we're going to cut into it. Although I quite like that background, it's really come out well. So now we just need to die cut this little bit off. So let's move these out of the way. And that seems to have cut nicely. So pull that apart, and I need a pokey tool. So we can just glue that into place, and then that's going to sort of finish there. Now what you could do, which might be an idea, is to add a bit of detail in like a watercoloured background. Would have looked nice on top of that. But I'm going to leave it for the sake of the video, but that gives you an idea if you wanted to. So let's stick this down. So there we are, and stick it in the middle like so. And then this can, I'm going to put this on some double foam tape. And there we are. And just take the backing off of this. And this is just going to help that sentiment pop a bit more. Just give a bit of more dimension to the page. I'll cut them bits off in just a second. There we are. And place that in the middle, like so. And then we're going to cut these bits off. So let's get my trusty scissors. One, two. So then that is our page finished. So that's page B, should I say, of our pages. So, or if you wanted to, you could have this on your first page and then this on your second. It's really entirely up to you how you have it. Really doesn't matter. However you want to assemble your book is entirely up to you. I'm just giving you the tools to sort of start it. Now I don't mind you copying any of the designs I've put out on this video. By all means, copy away. If you do, I would love to see your finished memory books over onto Facebook. It would be nice to see them, and if you would, please mention where you've got your inspiration from, so that other people can come and have a look and learn how to do memory books. Right, so now we've got our pages together, we're going to stick them into our book. Now the only thing I haven't done yet is we haven't done this part. but I think what we may do is, I think we will, let me see how it's going to go. Yeah, I think it'll have to go that way. Or does it go that way? That's actually a bit better. And then that can open. Oh, isn't it? What's happened there? This doesn't look too healthy, does it? Sorry about that. That doesn't look. I think what I've not done is I've not re-glued it, so it's come up. But we can cover that, so that's not a problem. Okay, so I think we're going to put it that way, like so. Okay, so let's go ahead and stick it in. Or should we leave that one and do it there? Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is we're going to, where I've done the first page or the first signature, I'm going to leave the second one and put it on the third, so that we alternate our pages, so that they're not the same. Gives a bit of differentiation. Oh, I can't talk today. Right, I do apologise if you're watching this. Okay, so what I've done is I've lined my page up with the bottom of the hinge and just stuck it down. So what I'm going to do on this side is I'm going to put our glue along this side and this side, and I'm going to leave the top bit open because that's where we're going to put in our little tags, sort of page tags if you wish. So let's start. So along the bottom here, and quite a bit because it needs to be stuck, and then along the top like so, and then just take off the double-sided adhesive tape at the bottom. Make sure you've got it up the right way. Line it up, maybe line it up with the top of the page like so. Now you will get a bit of spillage come out, but that's okay, we can wipe that off. And don't forget to get your binder clips out, and so that it can hold it into place. And then push it down at the bottom. Okay, one more, and one more. So while that is drying, we can then go ahead and make our decoration for the front and the inside of our pages. Right, we're going to do this page now. So we've finished that side, which is looking really good. So we're going to now decorate this part. Now I used a circle punch, and that sentiment is on Floral Happiness Journaling. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. But I think we're going to then put on the next one another circle type one, and this one is the Beautiful Destinations Journaling. And I think and this one is Believe You Can and You're Halfway There. So I think we'll put that one sort of on there. So we need a tag of some sort to go there, and what can we use? Right, I think we'll use the other side, these ones from Lisa's Dies as well. these tags. I think we'll use that small one, or the medium sized one. And I think that one fits on there. So we're going to cut these out of, we'll cut this out of black, because that's what I did on the other one. So find a, so we'll just put that one on there. So don't worry about that, because that's going to be covered. So we'll stick that in there. Now I'm gonna use the die as my template and cut it out that way. So let's just see if I've got some. Oh, that's nice. Let's use that. Never find one when I want one, and I'm looking for a pencil. There we go. Okay. So let's just cut this out. Now I'm going to cut just past that pencil line so I can get rid of it. Around. There we go. In the bin, in the bin. And then this could fit then over that. And then that just gives us a nice mat. And then that's going to be covered with that part. So I think what we'll do is we'll cover that in, we'll do that in some cream. And like so, and then that can fit on the top there. So let's stick this down. I'm going to have to unfurl my glue in a minute. Okay. Oops. Oh, it's like toast, isn't it? Always lands but upside down. And then that then is going to go over the top, and then it's going to hide my not so neat cutting. And then this can fit onto our page. And then with our nice sentiment, it's going to look rather nice. So let's get the sentiment out ready. There. And I'm going to do it in cream again. Okay. I'm stamping with Versamark, Versafine. Just heat set that now. I'm just going to find my circle punch. I'm hoping that that is big enough. Oh, it is. That's good. So I just need to do this very secret die that's being released soon. So I'm just going to put that in there. so, and then we've got the flowers to go on. So I'm just going to stick this down, so I need to find the flowers out, and stick this down. That was our tag, and then this is going to go on. Now I'm not going to put foam tape behind this because I've got quite a bit of height already, so I don't really want any more height, so that can go there. And then you can add some flowers there if you like, around, which we can do, and then we'll do the inside and then the back cover. Those won't take too long, so I'm just going to get the flowers. Okay, right, I can't find the ones that I did use on the front, but I found these ones. I thought these ones might be quite nice. So we won't use the open petals, we'll just use the closed ones. And these are orange blossom complete petals, these ones are. So let's put these down here. Now I'm going to actually, before I cut them, it'd be a good idea to colour my cards that I'm going to use. So because that's then, it's quite colourful, we want to go quite bright. So I'm going to use some more distress inks. A fighter plane flying overhead. Right, these are baby wipes that I've used and I've washed and then just put into a airtight container. So I will then wash these again and you get a lot of use out of them. So let's start with some pickled raspberry, so we can have some nice of that. Let's go with the seedless preserve, the broken china, and let's go with a bit of velvet. I think that would be quite nice on there. Now that's got some green in, but I don't really want green. So again, just put your colours down on your mat. Victorian velvet is my favourite colour. It really is. Okay, give it a spritz. Now I love this craft mat because it does pool and gives you those lovely droplets. So if you wanted to just pounce and get the dots, you could do with this. I think I might do that first of all, and then I'm going to swipe through. And then we can start die cutting our flowers. So let's put them onto here. 1, 2. So I'm going to have 3 big flower, 1 big flower, 2 and some small flowers. Some darker patches for the little stamens. There we go. Get our little our mat. Oh. and then we can start to shape our flowers. Now you could, if you wanted as well, which I may do, which would be a good idea, is just go around the edges. So I'm going to use the Victorian Velvet, I think, just to go around the edges of our flowers, just to make them stand out a little bit more. Okay, just gives them a nice look. I think this video has taken me longer than I anticipated, but it's good. I'm enjoying it. It's good fun. I like to share my knowledge with other people. It's you learn things every day, and you know, I still learn different techniques that other people may use, and I think, oh, that's a really good idea. And so you kind of share everybody's knowledge, and it's brilliant. And I'm just talking rubbish. There we go. Okay, do the blue. Okay, one more, which I think I'll just quickly do, and then we'll start to shape them. Now, I'm no flower shaping expert. I just like I like the way I shape them, so I tend to shape on the back so that they come up like so, and then I'll turn them over, and then I'll just push down in the middle, and then this, then you get a nice shape that sort of stands up. So then our flowers are just going on here. So I'm going to just bring them over a little bit. I don't want them too near the where the page turns, otherwise they'll get squished. So let's turn that round. That's fine. Whoops. Oh, just had a visitor. That one can go there, and then we can have that one sort of there. There. Yeah, sort of like there. That's sort of the front part of our page done. So now we come to do the inside bit. Now what I did was that with that is we've got these paper borders either on the back, and in the middle we've just stamped and embossed and used some of the Nouveau inks on that, which I think I might do because they give you very vibrant colour. So that's on the inside. Let me get my ruler.
Cut some cream card and measure the decorative page by 3.5 inches by 4 3/4 inches and glue into place.
Okay.
Again, using cream cardstock, cut out 4 3/4 by 4 3/4. This is for the opposite page to the page that is the decorative border edge.
So we're going to stamp this with the right, we're going to use a different stamp actually. I'm not going to use that one. Right, we could go with the art doilies. Let's have a look. I've not used these yet, so I think that would be quite a nice thing to do. Just sort of down. We can only have half of them on. That would look quite nice. So I think that one. Oh, I can get it off. So they're these ones here, the art doily stamps, and they do look rather nice, but as I say, I've not used them yet, so this is their first outing. So let me get ready. So I need some Versa Fine and a piece of paper underneath because we're going to emboss. So I'm going to do it so that it's off the page. I hope you can see that. Okay, get that ready. And we're just going to line it up like so. Oh, that's lovely. That's come out really well. Oops, there we are. You can see that with the sun. I might have to shut my window in a minute. Right, just tip that back in. And I'll do the next one just upwards, so that we've got two. And there we go. So that's then outside done. So I'll put this away, and I'll get some more space. Aqua markers out. And we'll go with, we're just going to do a wash of colour sort of down the side there, just to accentuate that little bit. Let's use that baby white. Oh, they smell lovely. I can smell the fabric conditioner I've used. It smells really nice. Right, just get my cloth just to dry that bit off. And then go with our colours. So we've got some purples. So we could go with, that's a red, and that'd be too dark. Well, Bakewell cherry, that might be quite nice. It's quite dark. And let's go with some purple, the light colour, and maybe some green. I don't want a dark. Should I have a dark green? I'll go with the light. Let's go with the light green. Maybe there. And maybe a little tiny bit of blue. Just to go. Oh! This one is running out. Now you can add water to these. That is fine. And the These nozzles fit perfectly, just to squeeze some in. Just make sure that it doesn't overflow like that. Oh, there we go. A bit more than I bargained for, but never mind. That can go onto my book. Let's go with that on there. Just going to soak that up. There we are. It's not too bad. It's quite nice. So leave that to dry. Then we can add our water. And then what I'm going to do is just swipe. Oh, don't know if I like that. It'll be too much. But hey ho. Let's get the just wipe that off. And maybe put a bit more of that in there. Okay, that's not too bad. That'll do. That will do. So, new page. Swish this bit around. Oh, look at that. Some nice colours on there. Swish, swish. Oh, I like them colours there. So, okay, I quite like that, but I'm just going to frame that using the Victorian velvet. I'm just going to frame around the edge just to give it a bit more definition. That's it. And I quite like that baked cherry colour now. It's kind of, it's really blended in well. Okay, bring our book in again. Now we can either just leave it on like that, or we can have it going that. So I think we're going to have it that way actually. And then you can write some things on here, or even just put a picture over it would be nice. Okay, and just add that in. Make it nice and straight, so it's not wonky. Then we've just got this side to do. Now I may leave that page because I quite like that pattern, and I'm going to leave this as well because I'm quite mindful how long this video is going to be. It's going to probably be about 3 hours long to do one page, which is an awful lot. So we're going to leave it there, but what you can do is then add your plain paper on here with using the photo corner punch that I have, that you can, you know, other places do sell them. I think this one was is a groovy one, I believe. Yes. So you could, you know, do that there, and then that is then another page done in the book. So we've done 2 pages, and we've got then 2 pages to go. Wow, look at my desk. Oh, it's still not quite clean here, but I've got piles everywhere. Well, thanks for watching and supporting me again. Hello to all the new subscribers. Hello to all my old subscribers. Thank you very much for supporting my channel and showing me your love through your comments. I read every single one, and I do try and comment on people's comments as well. I think it's nice to get that interaction. If you want to come and follow me on Facebook, just search my name. I also have a page called Tamara M Crafts, so if you wanted to come and join that, then please do. I'm on Pinterest, I'm on Instagram as well, same thing, Tamara Morton, and I should come up on any of those. You know, please share this video. All the links for my Facebook and social media, I will put in the links down below. I will put links in down below, so just click on those and then they'll take you obviously to my pages and things. See you soon. Bye.